Good afternoon. I want to wish everyone at Fair Vote a productive AGM and great success as you build momentum for voting reform in the lead up to the coming federal election. I truly wish I could be there with you this afternoon, but commitments in my riding require that I be in Winnipeg today. It's my pleasure to offer this message, and I know our fantastic candidate in Ottawa Centre, Emily Taman, is pleased to be with you today as well. Depuis beaucoup trop longtemps, le Canada fonctionne avec un système électoral défaillant. Un système qui donne souvent 100% du pouvoir à des partis politiques qui obtiennent beaucoup moins que la majorité des voix. It encourages Canadians to vote out of fear of what they don't want, rather than vote for the things that they do want. It produces parliaments that fail to reflect the true range of political opinion in Canada and ignores the demographic diversity of the country. It rewards divisive politics and obstructionist tactics, rather than encouraging cooperation and negotiation between political parties. Canada can do a lot better, and Canada has to do better. As the NDP's Democratic Reform Critic, the task assigned to me by our leader, Jagmeet Singh, is to work with people like you to build a coalition that will change our voting system in time for the 2023 election. The many commissions and committees that have looked at voting reform in Canada over the years have all recommended a form of mixed-member proportional representation. New Democrats wholeheartedly agree. Nous reconnaissons également les leçons tirées des diverses tentatives de réforme électorale des provinces au cours de la dernière décennie. En particulier, nous reconnaissons à quel point les débats sur la réforme électorale sont susceptibles d'être détournés par la désinformation et les intérêts politiques partisans. People have a real lack of trust in politicians to lead that process, and it's no wonder why. After Justin Trudeau callously walked away from his promise to change our voting system in the last election, it's hard to blame anyone for feeling that way. That's why we want to be very clear about our commitment to a fairer electoral system. A majority NDP government would implement mixed-member proportional representation in our first mandate without a referendum. We'll do that by bringing together a citizens' assembly to recommend the best way to put in place mixed-member proportional representation, so that regular Canadians, not political parties, decide the fundamental principles of the new system. Nous espérons que ce processus donnera aux Canadiens et Canadiennes la confiance nécessaire pour adopter une nouvelle façon d'élire leur Parlement. À juste titre, les Canadiens et Canadiennes veulent décider comment ils et elles élisent leurs propres représentants. Mais tant qu'il faut choisir entre ce qui est connu et ce qui ne l'est pas, la réforme électorale se heurte à un fardeau de preuves démesuré. That's why we would put in place a national confirmation referendum once electoral reform has been in place for 2 elections. This will allow Canadians to judge our current voting system against the new one, with a real sense of how both work and what results they produce. Voting reform will continue to be a key priority for the NDP in the next Parliament, just as it was in this Parliament, when the Liberals tried to quietly walk away from their commitment. When the Trudeau Liberals wasted the first crucial months of this Parliament by doing nothing, the NDP was there pushing them to start the process. When they announced a transparently broken proposal for a Liberal majority committee to bury voting reform, the NDP was there to propose a better way to move forward. A special committee with all the parties, official and unofficial, represented in proportion to the votes they received in the last election. When that committee, despite Liberal hopes, recommended a mixed-member proportional voting system for Canada, the NDP was there to push for adoption of the report, and we continue to raise the issue in the House of Commons at every opportunity. We share the sense of frustration many Canadians feel at the slow progress of voting reform in Canada. But we're more determined than ever to see previous attempts at reform not as setbacks, but as opportunities to learn lessons that make the next effort more likely to succeed. Nous savons que la population canadienne sera mieux servie par un mode de scrutin proportionnel mixte où chaque vote compte vraiment. Et nous allons demeurer optimistes, confiants et déterminés dans nos efforts jusqu'à ce que le travail soit accompli. So please accept my thanks on behalf of all my colleagues in the NDP for the work that you're doing to provide the ideas, the public education, and the political momentum to make this happen. I look forward to working with you to change our voting system and finally make every vote count.